RSPB's Big Garden Birdwatch takes place this weekend.
500,000 people take part annually, and joining us now to tell us the importance of such a campaign is Visitor Development Officer Paul Brady. Paul, many thanks for joining us. Let's just start off, actually, just a diversion from what you're actually doing. Is this cold snap that we've had over Christmas, has this affected the birds, and what can we do?
Well, that'll be really interesting. The Big Garden Birdwatch will be even more important this year than it has been in previous years. The cold snap, the cold spell, should have affected some birds, or may have affected some birds, and the Big Garden Birdwatch may give us some results that will show us ones that have benefited from the cold spell, and possibly there may be one or two that have declined, sadly.
Which ones, I was going to say, which ones do you think may have declined?
It's mainly the insectivorous birds, the birds that rely upon insects, really. As you imagine, the snow covers quite a lot of the ground. It freezes the ground up, so any birds that are looking for insects in the bushes can't find the insects because of the snow. And also birds that like to probe into the ground for worms, beetles, grubs, obviously may have had a tough time too. And especially small birds too, birds that lose heat quite rapidly and need to constantly eat to keep up their energy supplies.
But there are things that we've been spotting that we haven't been spotting in recent years. Aren't bitterns on the up or something?
Well, it was a
you
really...
You won't see them in your garden necessarily.
No, not necessarily.
Bitterns than they used to be around.
But it has been a really good couple of years for bitterns, with record numbers of booming males, which they're sort of getting in the run up to doing over the next couple of months. They boom and they have a territory, which shows how many potential breeding pairs they may or may not be.
Now, I'm not a bird watcher, so what's a bittern, and what do they look like if I'm looking out for one?
A bittern, it's quite odd looking, really. You've seen a heron in the park. Imagine a smaller, browner version of that, and slightly chubby, a really secretive, a real specialist bird of reed beds.
To wade out.
I'll have a look for one.
Very secretive, and they've come out because the weather's so cold. Listen, if people are going to spot things in their garden, how are they going to know which is which, sir? Because we're not all bird experts like yourself.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point of the Big Garden Birdwatch. It's about introducing sort of a fun element to it. If you pick up a leaflet, inside there's a guide to some of the birds. But if you're a real IT whiz, you can go on the internet, the RSPB's website, and pull up the pictures and sound recordings of some of the birds that you might see in the garden.
OK, so we've a couple of pickies here, actually. So if you just have a look round there.
Yep, a blue tit.
There we go.
Bird, cold tit, white stripe down the back of the head. Collared dove.
I'd have said a dove. I've seen those near my house.
Yeah, the collared dove, just only really came into the country in the 50s and the 60s, and have done really well. That's a jackdaw, white eye, grey back to the neck. And
red robin.
Everybody's favourite robin.
One of my bird table this morning.
Oh, lovely.
That one's a song thrush. That's a bird that has been declining quite rapidly over the last 30 years or so. And another bird, the starling, that, although still in the top 3 birds in the Big Garden Birdwatch, has suffered massive declines. And there's a wren, one of the insectivores I was talking about before, really small.
OK. And when people have collated this little bit of information, what should they do with it that'll help you out? You
can submit your results via post, or if you're a tech whiz, you can submit your results online as well. On the Big Garden Birdwatch website.
And is there a time within which you want people to spot and count? Is it mid? Well, you tell me. When is the time within?
Basically, you pick an hour this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, any hour you want, at your leisure. You can do it from your kitchen with a cup of tea or a drink or anything. Really easy, and that's it, really. Just this weekend, 1 hour.
Keep a note of the ones you say, and then submit your results to the RSPB.
Yes.
And do I need to tell you where I'm from, what area? Because do you need to know what areas these birds are in?
So as you submit your results, you'll submit the results for the numbers of birds that you're seeing, and then also there'll be a space to submit where you're from.
One more thing before we let you go. If I have a bird table and that lures more in, does that count? Or does that artificially skew the figures if you submit?
No, because I mean there's enough people doing it. As you mentioned, 500,000 people have done it last year, so hopefully the results are balanced out, and it's really important to feed the birds in your garden.
Clearly, yes.
Yeah. You know what? I've never wanted to birdwatch before, but I might give it a go at the weekend.
Come along to one of our events.
Oh, I will do. There's an invitation.
Yeah, you see.
Thank you very much indeed.